What, it's freezing here in North Carolina, and we got a sheet of ice on the roads out here. Hopefully, it'll be gone tomorrow because I haven't moved out of my house all day long.
Oh my goodness, it's cold here in the Mentor, Ohio, Cleveland area, so I consider it being Siberia. Even though I went from Pittsburgh to there, it's the wind chill. It's always snow, and
Well,
it brings
Tom's
the
down in
long.
Florida, so he's not worried about this.
And Tom's not
Fort
worried about.
Myers, it's 72 here today.
Yeah,
It's
see,
it's cold though.
exactly. All right, and so who's our guest today, Alan?
Well, his name's Tom Quigley, and I met Tom a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of falls into the things that I do through my financial advisory business, especially when it comes to healthcare. And he can save people a tremendous amount of money in the premiums they're paying. Sometimes they don't even have to change their healthcare plan. It's just the method that he does it. And he showed me, we had a Zoom conference the other day. It's absolutely ingenious. And Tom, I want to welcome you to my podcast. And people need to know about this because they don't.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, Tom, how long have you been in this business?
I've been in this crazy insurance business. This is my 31st year. So, and we've been using this solution for 25 now
Okay,
years.
cool.
All right, Tom, what is MERP?
A
What is a
medical
MERP?
ex a MERP is a medical expense reimbursement plan that Congress put in 1954 under Section 105B of the Internal Revenue Code. And a spinoff of that is a medical expense reimbursement plan, health reimbursement arrangements, all kinds of good items, traditional self-funded plans. And all it states is it allows the employer to fund things without buying insurance and allows them to write it off as a business expense and to give the employees that benefit tax-free.
Well, here's a big question. When you do these plans for people, how do you get paid?
I work on 20% of what I actually save businesses from where they were when I first met them to what we bring them. And we also improve the benefits for the employees. So they have lower copays, lower deductibles.
So there's no net cost to the employer, correct?
No, the employer is saving thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of them millions, and they're paying me based on actual savings.
Why
Yeah,
does health
pay,
insurance cost so? Go ahead, Alan.
do they pay you yearly or is it one time?
Every month based on the savings, and then we the second through whatever many years. I have some at 15, 20 now. We just have an inflation accumulator. And at any time, if they want to go out and get bids on their health insurance from where they what they're currently doing, they come back and they always choose my method 100% of the time.
Well, I can understand why.
Yeah, they're a lot of them who've been with us 10 years don't real they have no idea that some to offer the benefits they're offering to buy the insurance, they'd be paying close to 3,000 a month for a family and over 1,000 a month for an employee. Since it's insane what the insurance carriers have done.
So why does health insurance cost so much?
Because well, it doesn't have to. That's the sad part. The reason it costs so much is the way the owners are allowing their HR departments and the office managers to purchase the health insurance. They're not thinking it through mathematically. They're thinking it through emotionally. And all it is a math problem that I'm showing. You know, you're sitting in the 10th grade and algebra's easy, and then all of a sudden they throw the word problems at you. Now all of a sudden algebra is the worst subject you ever had, because you don't know how to put the formulas together. That's exactly what the group health insurance carriers through their agents have done. No one understands what they're buying, what they currently have. I walk in and I make it simple and they think, well, there's got to be a catch. There is. You have to allow math to work. Basic math. It's not even hard.
You know, that kind of reminds me of our Social Security system. You know, it was first invented in 1935, paid out in 42. At that time, there were 44 workers for one individual. You couldn't get it till 65. Life expectancy was 62. Now you can get it at 62. Life expectancy is 85 for a man, 87 for a woman. And now there's 3 workers for an individual. And in 6 more years, there will only be 2. It's a math problem, just like you said.
It's all math, and math doesn't lie.
No.
Math's not emotional. There's an answer, and people have made it emotional. And when you make things emotional, bad decisions are based on that. And that's what companies are doing. No offense, the HR departments usually are the most emotional department you have. And you're letting them make a decision on a math problem that directly hits the value of your company with the second or third biggest expense. I really can't explain how owners do that, why they do that. Makes no sense.
I run that same problem with this health and this preventative health program I have. And we've discussed this before, but we need to talk to the decision makers, the people that make the financial decisions, because it's not just our opinion. It's mathematical, scientific, and economic facts that are presented to you. Like you said, the numbers don't lie.
Yep. With tax laws that are associated, that means your accountant or tax attorney should be advising you. But for whatever reason,
they don't know.
When the HIPAA and the Affordable Care Act, they're like ostriches. They have their heads buried in the sand because they're concerned that they don't want to be involved. And then you have the Supreme Court saying that it's a tax, and they're not on top of it. I don't get it. I mean, I could save America over $1 trillion a year because they're throwing away thousands, and the insurance agents are rewarded the more you pay. I mean, some of them are what they don't show you is their bonuses they make. Some of the larger agencies are getting 5 to 7% bonus on premium. So think about it. You have $1 billion in premium with Blue Cross, whatever flavor. 5% of $1 billion's what? 50 million?
Yep.
$50 million. Well, are you going to change your ways to cut that down to a 100 million? No, of course you're not.
But there will be some other changes, but it's great to see the specific things, Alan. This seems like a great plan, Alan, doesn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely great. I mean, between that and my preventive healthcare plan, put them together, it's a huge savings for the individual and the employee, and it adds to their bottom line. I said, Tom, you ought to contact Elon Musk and get on his dog team.
Yeah, I'd gladly do that. I'd also have a couple big guys around me at all times.
Okay.
But
what's your average savings?
For groups 10 to 50, if they don't save 50%, they ought to get their heads checked. If you are over 50 to whatever, you shouldn't save any less than 30%. The issue is it's bought on emotions. And it's not bought on logic. And if it was, it'd be different. But the saddest part is I had one of the employees for one of my clients was looking at another job, and she sent me over what she would have to pay. And she's like telling me, sends me all the information, and I explained to her, they want you to pay $700 a month for you and your children, which is $8,400 a year. So that $80,000 salary, which was supposed to be a $5,000 increase, you're really making $71,600. And you have a deductible, and it's not as good of coverage as you currently have. I said you would be better taking the Cobra, which was $400 a month for her and her children, because the cost, the way the other owner's buying it, is so cheap, and they finance the benefits, so it's a zero deductible. They're not going to emulate that. But the problem is the company. It's like you're using this plan as a recruiting tool, and you have a $3,000, $4,000 deductible. You're asking the employees to pay just under where they can't get subsidies, so they don't get an employer mandate penalty. And they don't realize that for kids, you can get in, and for spouses, you can get subsidies now without penalties to these groups that have 50 plus. And if they ever did the math on 60, 70 person groups, they would be saying, hey, wait a minute. We would be better off paying the employer mandate penalty to allow our employees to get coverage. I have a lot of people go from 2,000, 3,000 a month to zero
Wow. Are
because of the subsidies.
So are the benefits better?
Oh, absolutely, because the owners are determining what they want to cover so they can improve the benefits, knowing they have a backdrop of catastrophic coverage that kicks in and covers everything 100%. So one of the funniest things I always, two things that are really funny. The first one is the drugs. Most people think they have to buy drug copays for these big, expensive drugs. If you watch every commercial, at the end, they show a zero copay card or a $10 copay card. What people don't realize is if you get that drug, I'll use Embro as an example, about 8,000 a month, up from 5,000 last year at this time. Imagine that. Literally, there's an Embro card, and the person would pay zero, and their whole deductible would be covered by the Embro savings card at point of service at your drugstore, Walgreens, CVS, wherever you want to get it. And people are buying these gold platinum plans thinking that that's the way to go, and they don't get that they're only going to get $100 from Embro when they could get the whole $8,000 deductible covered and pay half the cost. I mean, this is people on their own. The other big one is a lot of people are like, well, we can't retire. And I explained to them, do you guys understand the Affordable Care Act? It's based on your taxes, your tax returns. So why don't you retire at 60, use your tax-free income, such as a Roth IRA, a life insurance policy, and use the proceeds, some of that money, so you show very little income. You get your health insurance at no cost, and then you qualify for the silver plan, and you have a zero deductible.
Hmm.
And they don't get
Alan has those types of things. Now, so basically you work with businesses. Is that pretty much what you do, Tom? Or are you working?
Yeah, I help anyone because our whole premise was to help people. But what we really, what I see is the groups 10 to 50 are literally missing the boat. I mean, because they have an affordable health plan, and a lot of them are proud of that. And I tell them the last thing you want is an affordable health plan. This is how simple this law is to legally circumvent it. So suppose you two work for me, and you guys both qualify for tax breaks, which this year it's upper middle class can qualify. So I say to people, I go, okay, here's what I'm going to do. As of March 1st, I'm changing the contribution from $150 a month to $300. If you want to, you now qualify to go, because our plan's unaffordable, to get subsidies. If you choose not to do that option, I'll simply give you a $150 raise and take it back through the Section 125 premium only plan. So you have the same net income and I have the same tax consequences. And everyone sits there and they go, well, what do you mean? And I've told departments of insurance this, New Hampshire and Maine, Indiana, literally, and they're like, that's incredible. And I'm like, what's legal? No one, you're using, nowhere does it say that you have to contribute to health insurance. And nowhere does it say you have to have an affordable health plan. But if you have fewer than 50 employees, why would you not allow them to get tax breaks when you have no penalties?
Yeah.
So overnight, it's just a handbook. All you have to do is change the handbook. And then you say to them that under our medical expense reimbursement plan will cover your deductibles XYZ this way, and you will have better benefits than you had before. And you can also do it where if they go on their spouse's plans or military, you can allow them to do so and entice them. I have 3 people with my own company's plan. First of all, my group health rate just went up from 141 a month to 171 a month per employee, and it's 400 and something for family coverage because I buy it right. But the funniest part is I have 3 employees with employee spouse and family coverage, 2 employee spouse, 1 family. And I think their total premium for the 3 is $700 is what it costs us each month because you have another employer paying for it. And you're just paying the contribution level that the employee's husband or wife have to pay. But there's no commission. So when you ask your group health agent, what do they think about those ideas? It's probably a bad idea if if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yep.
And that's what they see: group health, group health, group health.
Okay, you said something about military. I'm retired military, and
Mhm.
I'm 72 right now. But my wife and I both have TRICARE and of course Medicare, and I still have Medicare Part B payments. Can you
Yeah.
help with that?
Yeah, under a medical expense plan, if you set it up, you can finance your Medicare Part B and the supplements tax free. So you can pay, the company can pay you for that. If you're a husband-wife dual, if you form a C Corp, you can write it off. If you're an S, then you would have to segment some of there's actually an interesting tax case that happened, I think in 2002, and it's the Speltz, Speltz tax case. It was a daycare in Minnesota, and she hired her husband to do plowing and other things, and they were able to write it off their Schedule C, the medical expenses. And it went to the revenue court, and the revenue court sided with the Speltz. So there's document cases that protect people.
Now, how much? So you said groups of 5 to 50. What if you're a solopreneur and have a family?
I help people. We charge a flat fee of $110, and we show them how to set up a health savings account and how to find it, or a medical expense plan if they're a C Corp. Um, the account, if they have an aggressive account, what I just mentioned makes a lot of sense. Set up a medical expense plan as long as you can document that they're both working. And it's so many hours. And it's all outlined by the publication 502, the IRS, their section 213D expenses. I was a C Corp back in 2000, 5, 6, and 4, 2004 to 6, I think. And what happened was I tore my deltoid muscle. Ice hockey does that to you. And I got a hot tub because my doctor wrote a prescription. My whole hot tub was a business expense. All the chemicals, everything associated with it was a business expense. Came right off of my corporation paid for it. Legitimate. It's under Pub 502. It outlines everything that you're eligible for. Ed, my partner in crime, wrote the 10 funniest tax deductions. Most of them came from Pub 502, voodoo animal sacrifice, all kinds of stuff.
So Alan, he doesn't just help businesses; he can help everybody.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right.
He's talking about his partner there is his name's Ed Lyon, and Ed has co-wrote that latest book with me, How to Beat the IRS Legally, and he's Ed. He teaches over 5,000 CPAs on how to conduct the business. But
and he was audited for that, by the way, how to beat the IRS legally. There's people in California at the time back in 08, 09. So our documents have been looked at by both the IRS and the Department of Labor. So we're pretty safe. I even have a 2-page letter from the Department of Labor supporting us. Ed's case was, yeah, the IRS doesn't like verbiage sometimes such as that, but they can't do anything. They've already audited it.
All right.
I'll tell you
Okay.
what, Tom, it's been great talking to you today. I've got a lot of businesses that I'll be contacting you in the short-term future. And I'm just very excited about everything that you've told me today and what I've learned from you before.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Best place to go, Tom. Check you out.
Claim links, ClaimLinx.com. X is an X-ray. And literally they can set up appointments. They can view everything they need. You can download a copy of my wife, myself, and Ed actually's latest book. If you go to my LinkedIn page, it's right on there. You can click and get a PDF. And if you take, it's not long. First 25 pages is all you need. Like I tell people, if you're going to have a glass of wine or beer, fine. But after one, please quit reading it until you're ready to be focused.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
And
Thank
then
you.
you can check out Alan if they want to help. Strategic Wealth, the number 0, email strategic wealth, the number 0 at gmail.com. Call them at 910-551-1046 or go to strategicwealthstrategies.com. Thanks again, Tom. Thanks, Alan. Take care, guys. All right.
Yeah,
That's Strategic Wealth.